Hello everyone, I'm Felicia. The purpose of this video is to support the people who are under the pressure of the Chinese government. Zhang Zhan, a citizen journalist who is jailed for her coverage of China's initial response to COVID-19 in Wuhan, should never have been jailed in the first place. She now appears to be at grave risk of dying in prison. She was only performing her duty as a reporter and should never have been detained, not to mention receive a 4-year prison sentence. I suppose that the Chinese authorities release her immediately so that she can enter hunger strike and receive the appropriate medical treatment she desperately needs. China committed one act of barbarity when it prosecuted the citizen journalist Zhang Zhan for her revealing look at Wuhan in the first stages of what became a global pandemic. Mrs. Zhang was sentenced in December to 4 years in prison on the specious charge of picking quarrels and provoking trouble, which China uses to suffocate free speech. Now her health has deteriorated, and her relatives say she's near death. China will compound the barbarity unless it sets her free and saves her life. Besides, in December 2019, officials in Wuhan attempted to hide information about the outbreak of a new disease. When 8 doctors expressed concern about the sickness, they were reprimanded. A second cover-up occurred in early January 2020, when top Chinese officials remained silent, although they knew of human transmission of the virus, and informed the public only on January 20th. A third cover-up has involved their repeated attempts to frustrate investigation into the origins of the pandemic and their campaign to blame it on sources outside China. After she was detained in May 2020, Mrs. Zhang went on a hunger strike and was force-fed through a tube. She's now reportedly eating very little, but not refusing food to avoid being force-fed again. But her health has waned. Her brother, Zhang Ju, posted on Twitter on October 30th, "She's so stubborn. I think she might not live long." He added, "She may not survive the coming cold winter. I hope the world remember how she used to be." According to her mother, she can't walk unassisted now, and her head keeps drooping as she speaks. She'll be in huge danger if they don't release her on medical peril. We suggest that Mrs. Zhang should be saluted for her intrepid attempt to record the chaos and cataclysm of Wuhan in those early weeks. She was a sentinel of a looming disaster. Her journalism was not a crime. She must not spend another moment behind bars. She must not be allowed to die. Also, the UN human rights experts emphasized, as long as Zhang Zhan is detained, the Chinese government has an obligation to take care of her, and failure to provide adequate medical services runs counter to this obligation. These independent human rights experts said that they're contacting the Chinese authorities on the situation. However, they did not receive any response. In addition, I'm going to talk about the situation in Hong Kong. China introduced the national security law in Hong Kong in response to massive pro-democracy protests that had swept through the city the previous year. Controversial law reduces Hong Kong's judicial autonomy and makes it easier to punish demonstrators and activists. Beijing insisted that the law is needed to bring stability to the city, but critics said it violates the one country, two systems principle under which the former British colony was handed to China. Since it was enacted, more than 150 people, including protesters, pro-democracy politicians and journalists have been arrested under these provisions. Speech is no longer free for Hong Kongers and human rights in mainland China. I hope this video can arouse the concern of the public.